G'day, 3 owls in a trench coat. Amazing name. So what about asset protection for future generations? Let's talk a little bit about family trusts and how they can provide some asset protection, but you've got to be mindful of some circumstances in which they actually don't provide a lot of asset protection to you. So let's get stuck into it. So a family trust, if you missed in the last video, I was talking around why you wouldn't use a family trust to acquire your family home as an example, and some of the benefits that are associated with having a family trust. Now, the great thing about a family trust is that it can be used as a vehicle to transfer generational wealth. The great thing about it is that if you hold assets in a family trust, you can have it last for 80 years. We also have a strategy for it to run in perpetuity. So if you want more on that, let me know. I just actually filmed a podcast with an expert on that particular subject, but let's assume that generally it lasts for 80 years. And what that basically means is that you have the ability to distribute at your discretion income and capital gains to beneficiaries throughout your lifetime. And in the event of your passing, if you are the trustee or one of the directors of the trustee company of that family trust, then your directorship would be resigned. The kids could be the directors, and then they could call the shots and hold all of the assets. And the great thing about that is that basically the wealth has not transferred from person to person. So there's no sale costs required, there's no stamp duty, it's not a CGT event. So therefore, it can be a great way for you to transfer wealth from generation to generation. For many of our clients who want to help their kids get onto the property ladder, we do use a family trust. We buy those properties, the investment properties inside the family trust, and then that gives them the flexibility to allow the kids to use it and then take over ownership through the trust in the future. Now, where it doesn't provide a lot of protection is in family law situations. So, if an individual has been a beneficiary of a family trust for a period of time, a precedent has been set, and they've, let's say, for example, been distributed income or have access and use to assets. There have been situations whereby, in a family law matter, let's say, for example, a divorce, those assets have actually been clawed part of the marital estate and therefore have been part of a settlement. So if you're concerned about asset protection for the purposes of that, a family trust isn't necessarily the best vehicle. There is another vehicle that is referred to as a testamentary trust. It's a death trust, okay? And a testamentary trust is a component of your will, okay? And it basically will only get put into place in the event of your passing. Now, what basically happens is that trust gets established. Any assets that you hold that aren't already in a family trust, so it could be the family home, could be superannuation, could be insurances, could be any other investment assets that you have, can go into the testamentary trust. The great thing about a testamentary trust is that children under the age of 18 are taxed as adults in a testamentary trust, whereas as individuals, if they receive that money directly, one, they can't call the shots on it, but two, they are taxed at minors' tax rates, which are astronomical. Go Google it. I think it's they can get $300 a year at zero tax. Then I think up to a couple of $1,000, $1,500 or $1,600, it's 66% tax, and then it's half of everything else thereafter. So it's a tremendous amount of tax. In a testamentary trust, they're taxed as an adult, meaning that they can get $19,000 a year each tax-free. Now, the great benefit from an asset protection standpoint of a testamentary trust is that it cannot be targeted by creditors and it cannot form part of a marital settlement. So basically, any wealth that is inside that testamentary trust can only pass to lineal descendants. So their kids and their kids' kids. And it also lasts for 80 years. So when we work with our clients and we help them set up their foundations, there is basically 6 things that we do. First thing is cash flow structure. Second thing is their debt management plan. Third thing is their lifestyle and retirement planning. Fourth thing is their emergency fund. Fifth thing is their personal protection and their risk management strategy. And the sixth thing is their estate planning. And I know it's icky. People don't like to think about it. We don't want to have these horrible conversations to be reminded of our impending demise, right? However, it just needs to be done. And as part of that estate planning exercise, we sort out wills, testamentary trusts where applicable, powers of attorney, and enduring guardianships to ensure that you have protection in the event of the unforeseen. So I hope that helps. If you've got any questions about this, feel free to let me know, and I'll catch you in the next video.